And yeah, everyone, this is Thermites, and this is the weekly updates. As always, very first link down below is Weekly Shonen Jump. Please check it out. Fantastic jump this week. Had a really good time. I mean, obviously, number one is like just Undead Unluck being a banger every single week. I cannot say enough good things about that. But apart from that, I did catch up on Choujin X this week. And I did come to the realization post that reading 3 chapters of Choujin X, each chapter of which is, like 30 pages long, still takes me less time than a single chapter of My Hero Academia. Because, of course, My Hero wasn't off, like he was off this week. And so I did those 3 chapters of Choujin X instead of My Hero. And it's still not that long. It is insane. But, like, that's how compelling My Hero is, that I have to spend so long reading each chapter and then I spend so long talking about each chapter. It's sorry, that just hit me. I thought that was really interesting. Apart from that, definitely feels like Red Hood and Neru are being canned. Red Hood way more so than Neru. Like, Red Hood is doing the big, like, I know that I can't use these ideas in the future, or else I'll be, people will think I'm ripping myself off, so I've got to just get them out and let everyone know exactly how this was supposed to go. Whereas Neru is more just sort of like flagging in energy, which sucks. And like, it's still interesting, but yeah, it doesn't have that spark. It doesn't have that this is so effortlessly amazing every single week energy to it, which sucks. Like, if it manages to pull itself back up, I'll be excited, but I feel like this is probably it for Neru, like after this arc. Ah, and it sucks, because I hate it. I do hate that, Jump is like just churning through these series and I think just, not really giving them the chance to be big bangers. I talk about that a lot in the reaction itself, so I'm not going to try and recap it all here. I mean, it's also something I've talked about for years. You have the entire channel to watch if you want to know more about my opinions on, Jump and like the current state of it. Ah. In non-Jump news, for like, if I do anything else apart from Jump this week, it will be Battle Angel Alita, like the new volume. I'll reread the previous volume just to make sure my brain's all properly caught up, but where we last edited it off, it was like at the end of an arc, so this should be a pretty fresh start. I'm just gonna, make sure that I'm actually in the right mindset. I I have a guess for what this arc is going to be, but it's the same guess I've had for every single arc of the series, which is, I mean, no spoilers, but there is a thing we know about Alita's backstory. And when this entire third like arc of, this entire third like franchise, this like renamed manga came out and it was like, "Hey, we're doing a flashback." I think everyone thought, "Okay, we're going to do this thing that we know about." And we have not done this thing. And so I feel like, what else is there to do apart from this thing? But knowing Yukito Kishiro, I feel like we are not in fact going to do that, and it's going to be a bunch of just wild lollies, running around some sort of, futuristic area. And that's not something I dislike, to be perfectly fair. It is just like, I find it so amusing on a, I don't know how to put it. Just in the sense of like, it's like if it's the exact opposite of something like Solo: A Star Wars Story, where that was the big, like, let's take all the tiny little fragments we know about this character, like everything we've implied this character did in the past, and what if we did it all in like, a week or a day, like, all within the confines of that one movie. That is the backstory that explains literally everything about this character, and then they kind of just did nothing for 20 years and then they ended up in the main series. Whereas, like, a Mars Chronicle from Battle Angel Alita has been the exact opposite of that. 99% of it is stuff that no one, knew about or was thinking about, and that does make it very fresh and very compelling. I just, why am I saying this here? I should probably be saying this at the start of that reaction. It is what it is. Anyways, final thing I wanted to say. I say this at the very end of this reaction, but I'll say it here because I know some people, like, don't watch the entire Weekly Shonen Jump. It's 2 hours long. I don't blame you if you don't. But I am on the discussions for my fiance's channel, Donut Reactions. And in addition to, like, being on the discussions, for Phase 4 of the MCU, which is, I guess I don't really talk about the MCU or anything on this channel, so that might be a big swerve for anyone who only knows me through this channel. But I had been caught up on, like, the movies for a long time. And when my fiance started to get into the MCU as like, a big thing, including all of the non-canon TV shows and whatnot, I've been on the discussions for some of that stuff, but I haven't been in the reactions because obviously, like, I've already seen them. I'm not the kind of person who can do a good, I've already seen this, now I'm going to watch it again reaction. I know some channels can do that, I just can't. It always turns out super, super dull every time I've tried to record something like that. But since I have not seen anything in Phase 4, I will be in the Phase 4 reactions. And, like, currently we're not in the same house just because of, border stuff. It sucks. So it is going to be I'm recording myself here, he's recording himself over there, we're watching it simultaneously and, like, talking to each other. It's going to be fun. Like, first thing that is eventually going to happen is WandaVision, but not for a while. Like, we've already, said this is the plan, so I'm just saying this as a thing to look forward to in the future. Right now, he's going through a bunch of other stuff on the channel, and it's all really, really good. I would highly recommend it. Especially, like, his Squid Game reactions are really fun. But eventually, once we, like, do all of WandaVision in the background, then he'll, like, edit it all, then he'll start releasing all of it, like, week to week. And that's something that I've always been a little, I felt weird about that as well, but then you don't get to have the discussion in between each thing. But at the same time, like, that I think it's only that important if you are going to take, like, longer breaks, or if it is a sporadic, like, I've done this and I don't know when I'm going to do the next one, so I'd like to talk about it at leisure. But if it's something that should be coming out week after week after week, like, there is some, there's something to that, but neither of us get enough comments on our channels to, like, to make that a priority. Whereas, like, if it's all done and all, in the background, then at the very least you can, like, anyone paying for it on the Patreon or whatnot can be assured they are getting, everything as it is coming out, and that's going to actually come out week after week. That, it gives you way more value for being a subscriber. So, why did I go on that tangent? Oh yeah, just to say I'm gonna be in those. When they actually start coming out, I'll start plugging them more, but I just want to say that as a general, like, hey, that's also a thing I'm doing off to the side. In case anyone is curious about my weird side projects or, stuff I'm doing that's not on this channel, that's happening. And then, of course, there is the big finding a job arc 2021. But that's just going. Like, if anything big happens there, don't worry. You will know. I will be incapable of shutting up about it. Alright, that's it. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you for listening to all of this nonsense. If you have any thoughts about any of the series I read, do let me know. If you have any thoughts about any of the stuff I have read and that I have not done a reaction for in a while, again, do let me know. I'm still very interested in talking about, like, Sobote and whatnot, and I'm gonna get back on, like, the DeadTube train. I keep on getting, like, if there's anything that people have been requesting, it has been DeadTube, and I haven't been in a very DeadTube-y vibe for a little bit, but I'm gonna. Like, I gotta. Especially since I did see Squid Game, and I'm in the, like, death game zone again. It weirds me out so much because no one on the server likes DeadTube. And those are the people I think about the most. But there are a lot of people who have never been on the server, who don't react to anything else, who will just comment and say, hey, I really like DeadTube, do more DeadTube, or when's the next DeadTube coming out, or I'm so excited that someone is doing DeadTube. Okay, that's enough. Bye for now. Yeah.